Hello and welcome again to Human Resources section. The second section we're going to cover here today is Human Resource Planning, and we'll show you some of the computations and calculations that go into that. So our objectives here are to examine the advantages of integrating HR planning with strategic planning. We're going to understand how competitive environment influences the strategic planning process, learn why it's important to do an internal resource analysis. We're going to take a look at the basic tools used for HR forecasting, and also how to implement and assess and measure the effectiveness of an organization's strategy. So, strategic planning. It's the procedures for making decisions about the organization's long-term goals and strategies. Strategy formulation is providing input as to what is possible given the types and numbers of people available. Strategy implementation is making the primary resource allocation decisions about the structure, processes, and human resources available to accomplish the tasks. Strategic human resources management is a pattern of human resources deployments and activities that enable an organization to achieve its strategic goals. And therefore, human resources planning is a process of anticipating and making provision for the movement or the flow of people into, within, and out of an organization. So the first step is the mission. What is a mission statement? The mission statement is the basic purpose of the organization as well as its scope of operation. The strategic vision statement is a statement about where the company is going, what it can become in the future, clarifying the long-term direction of the company and its strategic intent. A mission states the reason for the organization's existence. Why do we exist? A mission statement also states the purpose of the organization, and it also states where the organization is going. It answers the big question, what business are we in? The mission statement states what business the company is in now, states where the business will be in the future, and creates a vision of where the company is headed, stating both how and why. So, if you are creating a mission statement for your company, I recommend you do a Google search to see some very good examples. So, let's take a look at a couple. Whose mission statement is this? Our mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. Believe it or not, it's Starbucks. All right, whose mission statement is this? Our mission declares our purpose as a company. It serves as a standard against which we weigh our actions and decisions. It is the foundation of our manifesto for growth. To refresh the world in body, mind, and spirit, to inspire moments of optimism through our brands and our actions, and to create value and make a difference everywhere we engage. You won't believe who this is. How about Coca-Cola? So you can see that mission statements are pretty unique and specific to the type of organization that it is. Core values are those strong and enduring beliefs and principles that the company uses as its foundation to make all its decisions. So when you look at the chart, you'll see there's core values of the organizational level, but there's also core values for the human resources level. Linking strategic planning and human resources planning is important. The strategic analysis, what human resources are needed and what resources are available. The formulation is what is required and necessary in support of human resources. And the implementation is how will the human resources be allocated? Where will we use them? Environmental scanning is a systematic monitoring of the major external forces influencing the organization. Those are economic factors, general, regional, and global conditions, industry and competitive trends like new processes, new service, new product innovations, technological changes such as robotics and office automation. If you look on the news right now, Amazon is rolling out robotics in a very large fashion to help speed up delivery. And then there's government and legislative issues, laws, and those rulings from the administration that govern how we do business. There's also social concerns, child care and educational priorities, and then, of course, demographic and labor market trends, such as age composition, literacy, and how much immigration there is in that area. So when you look at the five forces framework, you have new entrants to the market, you have rival firms who are in the same business as you have the customers who choose which firm they want to deal with, you have your suppliers where you get your raw materials, and substitutes as needed. Most companies do what you see here is a Porter five-force analysis to determine what the state of the company is, its surrounding environment, and where it could be going. An internal analysis is the next important analysis, looking at your internal strengths and weaknesses. It's very important to assess organizational skills and performance levels. And you want to look at the three C's: capabilities, composition, and culture. Core capabilities, these are the integrated knowledge sets within an organization that distinguish it from the competition and deliver value to the customer. It consists of people, their capability, their knowledge, their experience. Products, what competitive features do you have that brings customers to you rather than your competition? Your processes, are they capable of producing quality products? And your systems, they need to be efficient and effective. Then you need to take a look at the composition of the workforce. Strategic knowledge workers have those unique skills linked to the company strategy, and these people are difficult to replace. For instance, research and development. Core employees are those with valuable skills to the company, but not unique and not difficult to replace. They could be salespeople, drivers, general workers on the floor. Supporting workers, less central skills, and generally staff workers available in the labor market. And then, how about partners and complementary skills? Those with unique and specialized skills, but not directly related to the company's core strategy, such as lawyers, research scientists, and so forth. Cultural audits. You need to do audits of the culture and the quality of work life within your organization. How do employees spend their time? How do they interact with each other while at work? Are employees empowered? What is a predominant leadership style of managers? And I'm telling you, it should be participative. And you'll see that more in the management section here on the management channel. And how do employees advance within the organization? Very important. So we want to look at value-based hiring, the process of outlining the behaviors that exemplify a firm's corporate culture, and then hiring people who are a good fit for that culture. Forecasting is a very important part of HR operations. It involves forecasting the demand for labor, forecasting the supply of labor, and then balancing both the supply and demand considerations to give you the perfect amount of workforce. So we can do a quantitative approach, which is a trend analysis, forecasting labor demand based on an organization's index such as sales. Select a business factor that best predicts human resource needs, plot the business factor in relation to the number of employees so that you can determine the labor productivity ratio. compute the productivity ratio for the past 5 years, calculate human resources demand by multiplying the business factor by the productivity ratio, and project human resources demand out to the next amount of years for the target. Most businesses have either a 3 or a 5-year plan. Looking at a forecast demand example, you can see the figures from 2007 to 2016, projected values of labor productivity and human resources employees needed. Staffing tables. These are graphic representations of all organizational jobs, along with the number of employees currently occupying those jobs and any future employment requirements. The Markov analysis is a method for tracking the pattern of employee movement through various jobs. And looking at an example of one, you can see the orange section in the block is the transition percentage, and the lighter orange is the actual number of employees at each of these stations. And HR will do that all the way through their entire workforce. Skill inventories. These are files of personnel, education, experience, their interests, their skills that help managers quickly match job openings with current employee backgrounds. Replacement charts are listings of current job holders and persons who are potential replacements if an opening occurs. Succession planning is that process of identifying, developing, and tracking key individuals for executive or upper management positions. Strategy formulation, moving from simple analysis to devising a coherent course of action, such as, for instance, a SWOT analysis. This is a comparison of your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats for strategy formulation purposes. You want to use the strengths of an organization to capitalize on opportunities, counteract any threats, and alleviate any internal weaknesses, and where possible, revolve a weakness to where it becomes a strength. And here I'll leave this chart for you to look at for a moment. This is an example of a SWOT analysis for a company called Napster. Value creation. What the firm adds to a product or service by virtue of just making it. The amount of benefits provided by the product or service once the costs of making it are subtracted. So value equals benefits minus costs. Low-cost strategy is competing on productivity and efficiency. Keeping costs low to offer an attractive price to customers relative to the competition. But you got to watch that you're not so cheap that the product quality doesn't compare to the competition. Differentiation strategy, compete on added value. Involves providing something unique and distinctive to customers that they value more than the competition has. Our functional strategy is to ensure alignment. External fit or alignment focuses on the connection between the business objectives and the major initiatives of HR. Internal fit alignment is aligning the HR practices with one another to establish a configuration that is mutually reinforcing to HR and the business. Taking action, reconciling supply and demand, forecasting business activities, looking at the trends, and recruiting and locating applicants to fit those needs. Organizational downsizing, outsourcing, or offshoring could be reducing headcount. It could be making layoff decisions. Is it by seniority or performance, or are there labor agreements with the union that require you to go by seniority? Evaluation and assessment issues, benchmarking, the process of comparing your organization's processes and practices with those of other companies or your competition. Human capital metrics assess aspects of the workforce, and HR metrics assess the performance of the HR function itself. As you can see here from this chart, there are a lot of different graphs and charts that companies use to try to indicate their productivity, how well they're doing in relation to their forecasting, and etc. Many companies today are using what's called the Balanced Scorecard. It's a measurement framework that helps managers translate strategic goals into operational objectives, looking at financial considerations, looking at the customer, taking a strong look at your processes to see if they're efficient and effective and productive, and what is the learning and growth of the organization. Measuring a firm's strategic alignment is very important that you build the metrics that reflect where your company is going and what it is that they want to accomplish, and then matching your strategy with those goals. Organizational capability is the capacity of the organization to act and change in pursuit of a sustainable competitive advantage. Coordination flexibility is the ability to rapidly reallocate resources to either new or changing trends. And resource flexibility is having human resources who can do so many different things in different ways. Hence the reason why many companies today do a lot of cross-training, so that if one employee is not there, somebody else knows how to do this. Let's take it turnover rates. Computing turnover rates, the U.S. Department of Labor suggests the following formula. You take the number of separations during the month, you divide it by the total number of employees on hand at mid-month, and then multiply that by 100. So thus, if there were 25 separations during a month, and the total number of employees at mid-month was 500, the turnover rate would be 5%. Another method is one that reflects only the avoidable separations. This rate is computed by subtracting unavoidable separations, or US, from all separations, and it looks like this. Avoidable separations minus unavoidable separations divided by the total number of employees at mid-month times 100 is your turnover rate. So in this particular case, 25 minus 5 divided by 500, which were the employees at mid-month, would be a rate of 4%. Computing absenteeism rates, pretty simple. Number of worker days lost through job absence per period divided by the average number of employees times the number of work days multiplied by 100, and in this instance you'll see that the percent is 2.4. HR is very complicated, and there are a lot of topics in HR. It's a lot more than what it seems on the surface. So we hope you'll take time to look at each one of these sections that we provide here. Thank you for watching and have a great day.